doing is just real rough dry fitting of the material, but I just want to show you a little bit how it goes together. But we take that narrow edge and it's just locking into place on here. And primarily all I'm trying to do now is figure out how far I need to go. There's 3 pieces. Oops, no wonder it wouldn't go. I was trying to put it in backwards. And here's the 4th piece. Just to get a rough idea. I always like to visualize things. Okay, now if you come over here and take a look, the next piece that goes in, that we put in, the pieces that are going to be shorter, we're going to have to take a longer piece and then cut in to go around there. And that's fine, it's just something that I needed to know for sure. Then I can go ahead and start working from this end right here. So what I need to find out now, a floating floor like this, you have to keep a 1/4 inch away from the wall so that it can float, because laminate like this expands and contracts. And we have to do the same over here. But that's what we have the quarter round for, is so that it can rest on top of it. Let me just pull this piece up a minute and I'll show you how we do our measurement here. And I'm going to measure from the quarter round, so from the material on the wall, the baseboard, to the other baseboard. And I'm coming up with 58 inches. Now to do it as the manufacturer suggests, I need to cut this a 1/4 inch short on each side. So I'll be measuring a piece 57 1/2 inches. With that in mind, what I need to figure is I have 48 inches here. Let's just verify that to make sure. Actually, no, I have 51 inches here. What did I check? Of usable piece, I have 50 3/4 inches. So what I'm going to have to do from this next piece in line is cut the balance of what I need from this end and put it in here. Now, some cautions about cutting I just want to talk about, and then we'll go ahead and cut. This is our first piece that goes in the corner. And what we're going to do is just eliminate this small edge here, because it's not hooking to anything. As we talked about in the bathroom there, is I've got to saw off this edge so that this fits flush up against the shower wall. And then the most important thing we need to remember is we have to lock our smaller piece into here. And we're doing that from the next board. And what we got to make sure is that we don't cut the wrong end. We certainly don't want to cut that end, do we? Because it won't lock together. So we want to make sure that we are cutting the end that will go together. And that's this end here that will lock in place here. So that's just a little sideline. You see how that locks together? And if we did it the other way, it wouldn't work. So we have this 51, and then we have the balance of our piece here. So it won't be that long a piece. It'll be about 5 inches or so. And then with this fresh cut that's here, that starts our next piece down along the wall so that it'll hook together down here. But then what will happen is this piece will be that much shorter, so the next piece down we have to cut longer, and so forth and so on. This piece is cut. This is the end that I've taken off this end of this next board right here, and I've laid it in position, dry fit. Now if I move this back over a slight bit, you'll see we have that gap on either end. And that's what we need. We've got our first piece in place. As you can see, we're just dry fitting right now. And here's our cutoff piece. That's our next piece in line. And I've got my ends straightened away. I've got my gap in both places. And now what I have to do is cut so that I don't go in to that. See, it won't go there, so I just have to cut it loose. And again, remembering, stay inside where the base of the toilet's going to fit. But I think even with that in position, I can go ahead and measure the next piece that I'm going to cut off the end of the next one. From this corner here, and come right over to the edge, the corner on this piece here, and again go to the laminate, not to the end. So I'm looking at a piece 13.5 inches that again I'll cut from this end here, and once that's cut, then I'm going to have to kind of put that in place and draw that line as I've done here, because again we're going to have to go around the toilet, and then that second piece will be in and be flat. Cut the piece to go on the end, and again, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to dry fit that in place even though it's sitting up high. Whoops, can't dry fit it with that toilet thing in place, so we're going to have to come and do it this way. We ran into our water connector there, so I'm taking it loose, and then what we'll do is bring it this way so that it's underneath the water, and then just kind of snap it in place. So we're not actually snapping because we have to go ahead and cut. Now let's just get it in place though, a little closer. So we see where we're bringing around this line, and what I'm going to do is just basically pencil in from here, just kind of rough eyeball it for right now. Here's my line here. So I'm going to have to take my jigsaw and cut this hole out. Now just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take these two pieces apart right for the moment. And then I'm just going to lay this down over here, put it in place, and just make sure that my line is accurate there. Hang on a second. Just to give me that rough idea so that I can get some comfort with that. So I'm ending up here, I'm out a little too far there. So we'll just kind of do it that way. That should make it